Hi everyone. So today I thought that given that we are working around dreams and dreaming big this week, I thought I'd use a tool that I really love and I really kind of comes out to me called the Disney model. To help you to take your dreams from that kind of imaginary place and start to turn them into something real. And this is a really kind of lovely process that I was first introduced to as part of my neurolinguistic programming course, but not that many people have heard of it. And it's something called the Disney model that Robert Dilts did as a result of modelling how Walt Disney works. And the idea is that you go through a series of different rooms, and this is what Walt Disney did. He went, he went through a series of different rooms. One was the dreaming room, one was the planning room, and one was the critics room. And in each of those rooms, he did the specific thing related to that thing. And so he dreamed in one, he planned in another, and he criticised the plan, not the dream, in the third one. And so we're going to be recreating that using some ideas around anchoring. So you're going to be creating little spaces to do this. And it's just a great way of kind of letting go and just seeing what comes to you. So what I would love you to do to start with, and what really helps, now it doesn't matter if you don't do this, but if you do, if you can grab hold of 3 sheets of paper and you have a little bit of space, then I would like you to write on them, and this is probably backwards now, but dream room is the first one, and just drop it on the floor next to you. And that's going to be the room that you step into when you go into dreaming. And then you're going to have a second room, which is the planning room. And again, I should probably learn to write backwards actually. So planning room, just next to it. And then critics room. And I'm going to flash it up even though it's back to front. Critics room. And so you should just ideally have 3 pieces of paper on the floor that you can step onto. And it's like you're going to be walking into these rooms. Now, if you don't have pieces of paper, then it's fine to just imagine this, but it's useful if you can kind of think of either imagine stepping into a space. When I say step into your dream room, then imagine stepping into a different place to your planning room. And there's a kind of a reason for that. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna anchor those ideas and what that feels like, and so that as you kind of go into them, you get that feeling of what it's like to dream against what it's like to plan. So that's the idea. If you have any questions that come up as I go along, please feel free to ask. If I'm confusing you, then I will kind of try and respond as quickly as I can to that. It sometimes takes a little bit of time to come through. But at the same time, if there's something which I can come back to later and it doesn't just sort of interrupt the process, then I'll leave them and I'll come back through to them. The more you can immerse yourself in this, the better. So a couple more people have just joined. So what I'm going to be doing is just introducing you to stepping into a space or 3 different spaces. If you have pieces of paper, then that's fantastic, and you can write on them dream room, planning room, and critic room. If you don't, then that's fine. Just imagine that that's what you're doing. And it's absolutely perfectly fine just to sit in your chair and close your eyes and almost imagine that you're in a game or something, and that you have these rooms that you can walk into. The first thing that we're going to do in all of this is set the anchors. So set it up so that you get a feeling of what it's like to be dreaming big, and what it's like to be planning, and what it's like to be a criticism in the place of criticism and constructive criticism. So what I'd like you to do is to first of all take that space that you've designated, whether it's imaginary or real, the place that says dream room, and step into it, step onto it, either in your imagination or in real life, and just kind of close your eyes when you get there. And as you close your eyes, I want you to remember back to an experience where you've had the most amazing dream. What was that dream? What does it feel like? Just take a bit of time to connect with what it feels like to have this kind of fantastic and exciting and amazing dream, and really connect with that. And as you're standing there or sitting there and just remembering the time when you had that dream, just notice, what was that dream like? Was it in colour, or was it black and white? Was it video, or was it still? Was it, maybe there weren't any images, but maybe you could hear sounds. So what sort of sounds were around you? Were they noisy? Was it people? Was it other people, or was it kind of you speaking to yourself? This is just getting a feeling for what it feels like to have an amazing dream, a really amazing dream. And then I just want you to tap into, what does that feel like? Where does it feel in your body when you have these exciting and these vivid dreams? What does it feel like in your body? Whereabouts do you feel it? Do you feel it in your heart, or in your kind of in your head? What's it feel like? Just connect with what that's all about. And just absorb those. And this is what we're going to associate with this dream space. This is what we're going to be coming back to this. But for now, just absorb what that feels like. And then, as you've got it, step away, step off the dream space, and leave that experience there for you when you come back to it. So that's the first dream space. So that's what we're going to be doing with the other two spaces as well. And so I'm just going to kind of flip things a little bit and just get you to think about what you did last night. Did you see fireworks, whatever it was? We had them going off all around us, but we didn't have any of our own. We just have our puppy kind of running around barking and kind of stressing herself out. But anyway, let me carry on. Right, we're now going into the planning room. So what I'd like to encourage you to do is, as with before, just step into that space of planning, whether it's imaginary or onto the real kind of a piece of paper. And this is now you getting into planning mode. And I want you just to connect with what that feels like when think about the times when you have come up with the most amazing plans that are sort of super clear, super energized. You can see how things can just unfold and how they can fit together. And just get a feeling for what that's like. What does it feel like to be doing that? And just tune into, well, what does that look like? Maybe you can see how things fit together, and start to kind of notice, well, what does it mean? What does it look like? What does it sound like? What's going on in your head when you've got that kind of planning focus? What is it, again, what do you feel? What is it kind of, when you know that things are coming together, what does that feel like? And just connect with that and pull it together, and just notice and feel that feeling of being in kind of effective planning mode and everything's going smoothly. And then I want you to kind of take it, leave it on that spot and step away and leave the planning there. In that room, that is your planning room. When we go back to it, you're going to be super kind of effective at planning. So step away from that. I'm going to talk a little bit more. This morning it was just foggy and misty here, and it's just amazing how I think after most bonfire nights we start to see that a mist drops over everything, and I just wonder whether it's the smoke or the smoke from the fireworks or whatever it is that just attracts and draws the mist down, or whether that's me making things up. I don't know. If anyone knows, tell me. And by the way, I'm deliberately going off topic here because this is it's called breaking state. So we've got you into these different ideas, but I want you to step away and forget about them for a moment and take you into the next. So I'm just waffling and encouraging you to think about different things to break that state, for those that are getting frustrated with me going off topic. So anyway, now we're going to go into the critics room. So again, I want you to take that piece of paper that you have, or that go into your imagination and sort of see yourself stepping into the thing that says critics room. And as you step in, what you're connecting with is a time when you have been amazing at constructive criticism, when you've kind of taken something that either you have created or someone else has created, and you've been in that kind of space where you've been able to give really, really good, concise, constructive feedback, and it's just gone down really well. And I want you to connect with what that feels like. And as you connect with it, just think about what is it that What is it again what were you seeing when you do that? What are you looking at? What was it that you could see in your head? What was it that you were saying to yourself and saying to other people? How were you going about it? What sort of tone of voice would you use? What sort of feelings come through? And again, are they feelings? Is it somewhere in your body where you just feel, maybe you feel settled or clear or whatever that is? What does that feel like? And again, and now I just want you to kind of wrap up that feeling of constructive criticism, and put it across onto that space and just leave it there. And again, let's step away and step out of that room and come back to where we are. So that's the setup for this. What we're next going to do is we're going to take a big idea that you have. So now hopefully you've come along with an idea or a dream or a project that you want to get going on, and you want to start to create some plans around it. And you want to kind of have a go at figuring out how you might achieve these things. So we're going to take that dream, and what we're going to do, or take that idea, and what we're going to do is we're going to step into each of these spaces. And as you step into the space, what you'll do is you'll automatically connect back into that feeling, the feeling that we created in each of those spaces. So let's have a go. So the first thing I'd like you to do is to step into the dream space, taking this idea with you, and just connect with that feeling that you had of dreaming, that time when the feeling of dreaming big and dreaming how clear and your imagination sort of running wild. And as you feel that feeling, closing your eyes, as you feel that feeling, just start to bring to mind the idea that you have. Start to bring to mind the dream that you have. And just take a bit of time to really dream it vividly and let your imagination run wild. See what comes through. What do you see? Again, is it in colour or is it black and white? Can you see things in video? What can you hear? What's going on for you in that dream? Feel the feeling of what it's like to really live it. And just take a bit of time just connecting with your dream. Really tune into that amazing dream and see, let it run wild. This is not about reality right now. This is about you really getting big and dreaming big. And I'm just going to give you a little bit more time just to really explore it. See how it evolves. Where's it going? Where would you like it to take you? Where would you like it to take the world? And now I'd just like you to just kind of feel that, absorb it, and we're going to step out. We're going to step out of the dream space and come back into reality, but taking the dream with you this time. Take that dream and connect with it and feel connected to it. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to step into the planning space. And here we're going to start thinking about, well, what is it that how can you start creating this and turning it into reality? So again, what I'd like you to do is to step forward, step onto that planning space. If it's in a kind of, if you've got that piece of paper, step onto the planning space, or in your imagination, step into the planning room. And this is all now set up so that you can plan most effectively. Now, you might not get the whole plan in this one go, but this planning room will be available to you whenever you want because it's in your imagination. So as you step into the planning space, just connect with what's that feel like to be an amazing planner, to be in that place of kind of everything, seeing how everything fits together and kind of everything falling into place. Just feel that feeling and then start to notice with your dream what comes through. What is it that you need to now do? What are the first things that you'd start with? What comes through for you as that kind of that step-by-step thing? Notice what plans happen. Notice what evolves. And it might be that you want to make some notes when you're in here, but it's also to start with. I mean, this is the starting point. So you might just want to kind of notice what comes up for now and come back to it later on. But just see what plans, see what structure comes through, see what it feels like when you know that you're in a great planning space, and you can start seeing how that dream could start to emerge. You don't need to get it right, you just need to let it come through. And so what I'm going to do now, because we're limited on time on this, but as I say, you can come back to it any time. Take the plan that's coming through so far, and I'm just going to show you what happens next. So if you take that plan, take those ideas and step out of the planning room and shake it all off. You're out of planning now, but you've got some ideas of what the plan might be. The thing that you're going to do now is we're going to step into the critic's room. Now, the important thing in the critic's room is that you are only ever going to criticise the plan. You will never, ever, ever criticise the dream. The dream is there to inspire you and guide you, and that's what it's there for. The dream is your imagination, and you've let your imagination run wild. The thing that you can criticise is how you might get there. And this is the essential bit within this process, I think. The thing that if you were to take away one thing, is to never criticise the dream. It's the plan that you might look at criticising, the plan that you might start to pull apart. So we're going to step into that critic's room, step into onto that space, step into that room in your imagination, and close your eyes and just get that feeling back again about what is it that it feels like to be in that place of a fantastic constructive criticism when you've been at your best. And as you feel that feeling, start to bring to mind the plan that you've started to put together, and think about timescales. Think about looking at how do things fit, how do you use the resources, and start to kind of notice how could you do it better. Start to look at how could this improve, how could you be constructive about what might not work but what you could do instead, and use that idea of constructive criticism and that feeling of it to kind of really kind of figure out what might work, what might not work. And so as you start to look at that, as you start to kind of, again, you might want to make some notes, but you may just want to go with it for now and come back to it. But what now I'd encourage you to do is to take that idea of that feeling and take that criticism and step back out again, step out of that room. But now what you can do is you can go into the planning room. So you can take that plan that you've kind of pulled apart and you've thought about and you've kind of explored a bit, and you can step into the planning room and start to look at, okay, how do I do it better? These criticisms that I come up with in my plan, how might I do it better? How might I? So because you're in the planning room, you're feeling in that place of amazing planning, and you know what it feels like when you're in that place. Then start to think about, well, okay, these are the things that might stop me, but what can I do to get around them? What is it that I might be able to construct? What are the other things that we could do instead? And so you can start to recreate the plan and rebuild it. And as you rebuild it, then that's a fantastic kind of place to then start to kind of reconnect with the dream, reconnect with those big things, and figure out how can you make this thing happen. And if you ever want a reminder of the dream, you can always step back out again and go back into the dream space and get more clarity on that. These spaces are available to you whenever you want. Now you've done that kind of that replanning, the thing to do is step out again, come back to here, give yourself a shake off, and go back into the criticisms room. Go back into the critics room and start looking at how you pull it apart again. And the thing that you can now do is you can go backwards and forwards between those, but very consciously go, right, now I'm in a place of planning, and I'm in a fantastic place where planning just works, and it all falls together, and it all just kind of feeling that feeling. And then step out and go, right, how can I constructively criticise this the best that I can? And then when you can step out and you kind of go, well, do you know what? I've lost connection with that dream, so I'm going to go in and do that big dreaming thing. So these places are available in your imagination at any time. And if you've written it on a piece of paper, any time you can get these pieces of paper out and just plonk them on the floor and jump into them. And all these things do, because you've created what we've called anchors, what it just does is tap you back into those ideas. And if at any stage you feel like they're a little bit weak and they're not quite, the dreaming idea is kind of getting a bit, not feeling quite so strong, that you're not quite so excited about what you're doing, you can go back in and just kind of set some more anchors. Go back in and remember what it's like to dream the dream, and go round this video again if you want. So I'm hoping what you've got from this is the start of a plan emerging on how you might create your dream, the dream that you came with. It's not going to be a fully, well, if you have got a fully kind of worked out one, then that is absolutely fantastic. But the chances are this is something that you will come back to again and again. So it's there for you whenever you want. This video will be here for you in the group absolutely whenever you want. So you can go through this process with whatever you're doing. And it's a great way just to think about, how do I take my dreams and turn them into reality? So if you have any questions off the back of this, if you have any kind of things that aren't clear, that you're not sure how to do, then please do drop them below. I'm happy to come in and just respond to them and make sure it's clearer for you. It's a lovely way of kind of doing this and creating plans in a really different way, and taking inspiration from Walt Disney. And if there was one message, as I said, that I'd love you to take away from this today, it would be that never, never, never criticise the dream. So if you just went away with that one message, that would be enough, because you can then kind of create that space and see how amazing it is to dream. So I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope you found this useful. Please do let me know what comes out of it, what's coming through. And ask for help. And I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you soon. See you later.